Hey, family tack man, how's your spirit? Talk to me. Tell me something good. We're gonna start part two in a minute. Get my little smoke on for a second. Give y'all some time to come in. How's you guys' day today? I had a great day. God is good. He always takes great care of me. So, I had a great one. I ordered me a lobster and chicken sandwich. You get two of them. Joints slamming. I just had a taste for lobster today, and it was worth it. Okay. Okay, where we at? Give me 1 minute. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start from right here. Why do we need to heal and come together? Because right now, a lot of people are walking around with broken silver charms. They've been dropped, stepped on, left in the dark. They think they're worthless, but they're not. When we help one person accept, achieve, and appreciate love, they turn around and help someone else, and that person helps another, and so forth and so on. And this is what this is all about. Each one helping one to get to where we need to be. That's how you build something positive for all of us, not a building, not a law, a family of humans who finally stopped lying to each other and started loving. Like I tell you, right now, it's really no love, man. The devil knows his time is almost up. So he's doing everything in his powers to try to corrupt everyone. But stay on the right side with God is worth the fight. Like I always tell you, while we sleeping, the devil's doing pull ups, push ups, squats, bench press, everything. So we have to be that much better. Here we go. Every single person on earth, no matter what they look like, where they come from, or what they've done, needs to know three things. You can be loved even when you mess up. You can show love by what you do, and you can say thank you for the love you get. If we all did that, if we all helped each other do that, the world would stop being so scary and start being beautiful. That's what we're building, and you're part of it. This is what TAC is all about. You know, like I tell you, this is not only a platform, it's not only a program, it's also a book, which is on Amazon. This is my book, and it's also a movement, you know, helping everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. This is what life is about. We wasn't brought here on this earth to hurt each other. We was brought on this earth to love each other, understand the differences that we have, because we come from two people, Adam and Eve. So that means we all family. Dr. Jane Elliott tells us the best, and that's a white woman. So the whole thing is, man, we have to stop hating and start loving one another. And it's only until we start to do that that things are going to get better for us. But while we're going through what we're going through, we're going to get what we got coming. And that's pain, misery, and separation. What's going on right now in the world. All right, here we go. Accept love. 12 examples of why this matters. A kid who wets his bed, they think they're broken. Oh no, I went there already. Yeah, we did this part. Yeah, here we go, right here. 12 examples of why this matters. Love is as action. The kid who shares their last cookie, that's achieving love. It's small, it's hard, it matters. What's one small thing you did today that cost you something? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. The parent, the parent who goes to therapy, they're breaking the chain of yelling and hitting. That's achieving love for the kids and themselves. What hard thing are you doing now so someone else doesn't have to later? These are things that you have to do. Self checks when you're trying to heal. This is what this is about. This is what I'm giving it to you. Because y'all don't come in and do the program, so I have to give it to you some kind of way. The mission is just deliver the message. If I got to give it to you in questions and answers, if I get you on here and we can talk and I can get you through that way, it's like they say, it's more than one way of skinning the cat without choking shit up and fucking up the fur. You just got to figure it out. And my job is to give you all the best information and the best way to survive in a crazy world that we live in. The friend who calls when they said they would, that's achieving love. Showing up in the whole is the whole thing. The person who apologized without saying but, because after but, everything after but is bullshit. When a person tells you but when they're apologizing, that means they really not sincere. Because a person who's sincere is gonna say, man, my bad. It's no buts, if, ands, or buts in it. When was the last time you apologized without making excuses? Or are you one of those who make the excuses? The kid who stands up for the kid being bullied. That's scary. That's achieving love. It's action, not just feeling bad. That's not only empathy, that's sympathizing with them and putting the work in to help them against the bully. It's so many ways you can achieve love, but just it's all from doing righteous deeds. If you see where I'm going, none of these things say, doing something crazy or horrible, or evil gets you to this place. Everything is about doing the right thing. And this is what we have to understand. In order for us to heal, we have to live right, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to that. When did you do the right thing even though you were scared? Ask yourself. Because this is about healing, helping everyone accept, achieve, and appreciate love. This is part two of that. You know, you have to always understand that nothing changes if nothing changes. It's up to us to make the changes in our lives to do better and be better. And the only way we can do that is change what's in, you know, re change our mindset, rethink the things that we do or say, and it'll affect how we feel. The spouse who says, I'm tired too, but I'll do the dishes. That's achieving love. It's noticing the other person is also exhausted. Where in your life are you keeping score instead of just helping? Because if you keep the score, you're not doing nothing for the good. You trying to play tit for tat. And that's what it's not about that. The person who stops talking and just listens, that's achieving love. Silence is action. Can you sit with someone's pain without trying to fix it? I don't think I could. It's just in my nature to help. When you're a person who like to make sure that everybody's okay, you can't sit around and be cool with somebody else suffering. That's when your heart is not good. The neighbor who shovels the old lady's walkway. Excuse me. And she ain't asked. He did it out of love. That's achieving love. What could you do for someone today without them having to ask? Ask yourself. The person who forgives without an apology, that's the hardest kind of achieving love. They do it for their own peace. Who do you need to forgive even if they say sorry? They never say sorry. These are the things that I'm giving you to help you prepare you for one day when you do embrace this journey. So you will have part of the understanding of what you're going to go through already. Like I said, I'm here every night. This is like therapy for me. Even when no one comes on, I still get my therapy for the day. I go to sleep with a smile on my face, because I think I accomplished something by helping someone somewhere in the world, and that's my blessing. I don't worry about uh, reward from people. I get all my blessings from God. And this is why I'm able to do what I do. The mom who puts down her phone, she gives eye contact. That's achieving love. Presence over distraction. When did you last give someone your full undivided attention? A person who sets a boundary, no can be loving. It stops resentment from building. What's a no you need to say to protect a yes that matters? And see, like I tell you, your past is only a measure stick for your future. Things you like, things you don't like, and you make your boundaries. The people who love you will respect it. The people who don't, let them go. It's simple. It's not rocket science. Everybody's not meant to be in your life forever anyway, no matter who they are. The person who chooses to stay, it would be easier to leave. They stayed anyway. That's achieving love. Who stayed for you when you could have walked away, when they could have walked away? Appreciate love. The kid who says thanks for dinner, mom. No one asked him to. He just noticed. That's appreciating love. And like I told you, once you're able to appreciate love, you do everything in your powers never to lose it. Like it just the kid just said, "Thank mom." Nobody had to tell him. He appreciates his mother. That's unconditional love because she shows him unconditional love. And what's one thing someone did for you today that you haven't thanked them for? These things that make you go on your Rolodex of thought for the day and figure out if you did the right thing or you didn't. And we have to do this with ourselves to keep ourselves in check. No one's better than no one. Trust and believe that. A person who writes a letter to an old teacher, 20 years later, they say, "You changed my life." That's appreciating love. Who changed your life that you're not never told? And see, this is how subtle. love is. Someone say something or do something that change your life forever for the better. This is what appreciation of love really is. The family who says grace before dinner, not even religious, just pause to say, we have food and each other. That's appreciation. When did you last pause just to notice what's going right? And it's funny that I'm saying that because I was just telling my buddy, he got a interview, and I said, "Yo, pray." You know, it's not being hypocritical because things that start may go good for you, and you have been doing. Start now, and that's just a blessing. The person who thanks the janitor, everyone walks past him. He stops and says, "This place is clean because of you." Who works in the background of your life that you never thank? That's big. Of course, a lot of people look at the janitor like the bottom feeder, but the janitor is like the garbage man. They're very vital to all of our lives. Of course, if things are not clean, disease, all kind of stuff happens. So when you uh show a person like that appreciation, man, it goes a long way. And then you got the kid who hugs their grandparents. No reason, just because. That's appreciating love before it's gone. Who wants to be here forever that you need to appreciate right now? Who won't be here forever that you need to appreciate right now? I wish, I had, my grandparents, I only got to meet one out of four. Um, but yeah, I understand my great aunt was like a grandparent. I used to live with her and everything, and it was, unconditional love. A person who says I was wrong and you were right. That's appreciating the truth more than their own ego. When were you wrong? And recently, did you admit it? That's appreciation. A friend who says, I don't tell you enough, I love you. Appreciation said out loud changes the room. Who needs to hear I love you from you today? You know, why I love doing this is because I know there's so many people who need to hear a kind word for the day. Like I used to ride the train before my incident, and I seen nothing but brokenness, and if I could just, make a person's day by a kind word on here, man, that's a blessing for me. I mean, it's nothing like being able to put a smile on a person's heart, and give them some insight on life at the same time so that they'll be able to navigate their life a little better. Because if people start to make changes and navigate their life better, they're going to make life better for others. And this is what people fail to realize. The doctor who gets, the patient who thanks the nurse. The doctor gets paid more, but the nurse held their hand at 3 a.m. That's the appreciation right there. The person who celebrates someone else's win. No jealousy, just that's beautiful. I'm happy for you. That's appreciating love in others. Most people uh, are going to be jealous and envious. It's part of life. The dying person who thanks their family at the end, they don't talk about money or grudges. They say, "Thank you for my life." If today was the last day, who would you thank and why are you waiting? It's questions you got to ask yourself. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Phrase tact. Through adversity come change. The focus. Understanding that adversity changes you permanently. What fire have you been through and what did it teach you? Like I gave you the speech the other night with the magic glasses. When God gives you insight on life, you know, you can't take them off, you can't share 'em with nobody, and you can't make people see what you see. So, seeing life differently, lies versus truth. What lie are you still believing about yourself and others? The three A's: accept, achieve, and appreciate love in action. Who needs your love today and what will it actually do? See, these are questions I give you guys in examples because I'm trying to spark something in your head to make you think, make you want to change, make you want to do the right thing, make you live right. You know, we're going through a crazy world right now, and what we need less than anything is more crazy people. So it's time for us to start to heal, you know, and that's the truth. I'm gonna give you some more lies versus the truth about love. If I show weakness, people will leave me. The truth, real ones stay. The rest were never yours. Love is something you earn. No, love is something you've given. Then you earn trust back. I have to be fixed before I can help anyone. You help while broken. That's how you both heal. And this is the thing that I'm telling you guys. You know, I'm healing while I'm helping you guys. You know, I know you may think I got it together, but no, when you never have it all together, I don't care who you are. You know, I'm just going off the experience that I've gone through in my life to help you to be better, so you don't have to go through them. Forgiving means pretending it didn't happen. No, forgiving means you stop letting it run your life. If they love me, they know what I need. No, you have to use your words every time. You know, people are not mind readers. And a lot of people think that of course a person knows them, that they know exactly what they are and what they want, what you know, it's not always like that. You know, things change in life. I'm no longer the same person, excuse me. I'm no longer the same person I was 10 years ago. Matter of fact, 1 year ago, you know, so things change. I'm too old to change. These are things that we say to ourselves. You're not dead yet. That's the only requirement. Like I said, if you fall down 9 times, get up 10. What they don't know won't hurt them. Secrets rot from the inside. They always come out. And like I said, you know, that's just like being upset or angry at a person. that showed you that they don't care about you. They really don't give a hoot about you. And you stressing over what a person don't care about you. It's like drinking poison, thinking they gonna die. No, you gonna die because you drunk the poison. And the secret, and like it says, the secret rots from inside. That shit eats you up, not the person. I'll be happy when I have more. You'll have more when you learn to be happy now. Like I tell you, I used to, I used to, excuse me, I used to spend $1,000 a day on scratch tickets. Now I live off $1,000 a month. You know, I just paid all my bills yesterday and still okay. You know, so you just have to work with what you got, be content, and strive for more. But don't be ungrateful. That's when God don't give you nothing. They don't deserve my apology, maybe not, but you deserve your own peace. So I said you can't let people rent space in your head. It's like drinking poison. You gonna die, not them, because they don't care about you. If I'm set a boundary, I mean, no, boundaries are love for you and for them. Like I said, once you set a boundary and the people who love you, they're going to respect your boundaries. The people who don't love you, they're going to try to go over your boundaries or go through them. And that's the people you keep out of your life. Life is too short to live unhappy, to make someone else happy and you're not. I refuse to do it. It is what it is. My past is who I am. No, your past is what you survive, not your address. And see, a lot of people think because they lived a certain way or did this. No, that's not who you are. It's what you had to do to survive. But it's only through adversity change take place. You had to go through them adversity to be where you are today. And if you're like me and love yourself, you wouldn't change anything about what you went through. For the simple fact that everything that you went through shaped and molded you to who you are now, the person that you love. Like I said, I can look in that thing right there and see the God that I love. You know, simple. I can change them if I love them enough. No, you can't only change. You can only change you. See, that's what a lot of people fail to realize. They have high expectations of others. I used to be like that. Now I see you for who you are, and I deal with you for what you are and who you are to me, and how you deal with me. I'm gonna deal with you in the same chord. And if we don't see eye to eye, I'm just not gonna deal with you. Period. I'll stay away. I don't have to tell you to leave. I'll leave. I'll be the bigger person. Being busy means I matter. No, being present means you matter. Busy is just your escape. I'll rest when I'm done. You'll die before you're done. Rest now. And last but not least, no one would miss me if I were gone. That's the lie depression tells. Don't believe it. And see, like I tell you, this is about loving ourselves, going through the adversities that we need to go through, helping each other to do the right thing to survive. This is a crazy life, man. The things that are going on now, man, it just baffles me, because I grew up in the 60s, and certain things, it was moral scruples, principles, respect, manners. It's none of that no more, and it's sad. It really is, because back then it took a village. The whole block was a village. Now You can't even say nothing to these kids. These kids don't even understand there's a God or hell or heaven, the devil, nothing. They think it's just what it is. And I understand, and that's one of the reasons why I do this because, I was one of the guys who was selling a lot of drugs in the 80s, you know, before I went to prison, you know, and after, you know, and I feel that, it's kind of my fault that, I messed a lot of lives up. And like my buddy was saying the other day when I said that, he's like, "Nah, you ain't mess them up. They did it on their own." But no, it's not what people think. It's what God thinks. That's something that God would want us to do. So this is why I do what I do and repent and try to help others to heal so they don't have to go down that path because like I tell you, once you embrace your journey and you find your place in life, man, life is beautiful. And a lot of people don't understand that. Once you embrace your journey, I'm going to say it again, and you find your purpose in life, life is beautiful, man. Like I said, I'm at peace after going through all I went through, being left for dead, scorned, and, and for nothing, because, lies are lies, but one thing for sure, two things for certain. As long as I stay close to God, I'm gonna be all right. And I ain't going nowhere, of course. The other thing I used to do, just dismantled my life. So it's about doing the right thing and living righteous. I still got maybe, let me see, 1 second. I think I got another. Let's see. Okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna do part 3. And I'm gonna get in depth with it. Uh yeah. But yeah, my bad. Yeah, but this is what it's about, man. It's about us coming together, loving each other, doing the right thing so we can build a better future for each and every one of us. The way it's looking, our grandkids and great grandkids and great grandkids are going to be paying a debt that they didn't even have anything to do with because someone wants to steal, and that's not fair. It just makes it even harder. But God is in charge. Everything will work its way out in time. That's why it's through adversity comes change. We got to go through adversity in order for life to change for us. But I'm in this for the night, and you guys have a blessed one. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Get your spirit right with God. Tack man out. Peace. Y'all have a blessed night. And if nobody told you all today they love you, I'm telling you. All right. So y'all have a good one. Peace.